Did that wrong. Oh, well. Okay. Let's take a few breaths, inhaling in through our nose and out through our mouth. Do that a couple of more times. Just bring the hands together at the heart. Lift the chest. Bow the head. Salute the teacher within. And release the hands. Separate the feet and then circle the hips. And reverse direction. And then coming back into mountain pose. Let's do some big shoulder circles and let's alternate side to side, circling back first. Trying to feel those shoulder blades. And then let's circle forward. Kind of weird to change direction. And then let's circle both arms together going back. And then let's circle going forward. And then with the arms by the side, let's take the right arm across and hook it. Relax your right shoulder down. And then bring the right ear to your right shoulder. And then take your left ear to your left shoulder. And then release, take the arms wide and take the left arm across. And take your left ear to your left shoulder. And then right ear to the right shoulder. And then back to the front, open your arms. Reach back, find the sides of your chair, slide forward and then lean forward. And holding on with your right hand, take your left arm across to the outside of the right knee and turn. And then bring that left arm back. Take your right arm across the left knee and turn to the left. And then release and come back. And sitting up tall, let's take some cat-cow. And coming back to mountain pose, draw the arm bones back and down. Let's circle the head and neck. And reverse it. And then make your way back to neutral. Take your arms forward and up overhead, bend your right elbow, hold on with your left hand. And just reach that right elbow up, pull the elbow back and pull it towards your head. Keep your head right in the middle, looking straight ahead. And then both arms up, bend your left elbow. And then both arms up and release. And sit back a little bit and reach your right arm back behind you and reach for that left back of the chair, left side of the back of the chair. And just try to roll this right arm out. Turn your trunk towards the left, any amount. Still trying to keep the head in the center. And lean back towards that arm if you can. And then release. Other arm. And then release and get your strap. And just slide your buckle so that any loop you might have kind of goes away by pulling it all the way to the end. You're not undoing the loop, but just pull it where it's just a little bitty loop at the end and grab hold of that in your right hand. And then take your right arm up and bend at the elbow, reach back with your left hand, find that tail, grab hold. Walk your hands towards one another. Find your mountain pose. Make sure your feet are underneath your knees so they're supporting your trunk. And just relax the left arm down and pull with your right arm up. Keep that right arm in close to your head. Keep your head in the center. And then release. And put the buckle in your left arm. Take the arm up and then reach back and find your strap with your right hand. Pull, or rather than pulling, just think of relaxing that right arm down and pulling up on your left hand, pulling the strap up with the left hand. And then release. And just leave your strap here for now. Take your arms up in front of you, turn your palms towards you and join the inner edges of your arms and your hands. And reach your thumbs away, squeeze the elbows together, feel the stretch in the upper back, shoulder blades protracting, pulling away from one another. And then lift the elbows without letting them come apart. So if they come apart, you've already reached your limit. Once the elbows come apart, you've gone too far, so back off until you can keep your elbows together. And just push them into one another and draw your elbows away from your chest. And then breathe. Keep your neck relaxed and long. Even though this is a stretch, there's a lot of strength in it as well. And then release. Okay, so with your strap, get your block or your ball, whatever you want to use for your back. And just put that behind you so you have some support, and then make your loop in your belt much larger, probably at least the half of the belt, and possibly larger if you're really tight. And then take that loop and open it so that the buckle is in the middle with the tail of the strap going down towards the floor. So, and then put that around your right foot so that you have handles that you can hook your fingers in. And then start to stretch your right leg straight. Elbows straight, pulling back with your arms, reaching out through your leg. Try to bring your heel as high as your hip. And use what you know about mountain pose to assess your alignment, and just make sure your foot, ankle, knee, and hip are all in a good relationship with one another. Now just walk your left knee off to the left a little bit. Put both of your foot handles of your strap in your right hand. Take your right leg out to the right. Reach your left arm to the left. And then push through your big toes, your big toe mound. Should be feeling some stretch in your inner groin. And then bring that leg back. Change your hand hold. And now turn your trunk, just wrap your right arm behind your chair back and pull your right leg to the left any amount more as you turn your trunk to the right. And then bring the leg back, bring your left leg back to the center. And then again, push through the right foot. And then release. And then we'll do the other side. So strap the left foot. And stretch the leg out. Press that thigh down. Sit up as tall as you can with your chest lifted. Shoulder blades down the back, so drawing the arm bones back into their sockets. And then put your strap in just your left hand. Take your right arm out to the side, walk your right leg to the right, and take your left leg to the left. Try to keep the chest up. And then walk everything back to the center. Change your hand hold, turn to the left, and bring your left leg to the right. And then come back to the middle. Grab hold with both hands again. Just pull those arm bones back. And then release. Good job. Just put your belt to the side and remove your block. And then we'll sit catty corner. Actually, we'll use the block here. So sit catty corner and stretch your right leg out and take that block to the inside of your knee. And then take your left leg out to the side. And then turn your trunk around to the left. Turn it as much as you can. And you want to be turning your rib cage. Just turn and hold that turn. Try to feel all of the tightness in between the ribs and the resistance that is there in all of us around the ribs. Just keep lengthening as you inhale and turning as you exhale. And then keep that turning as you side bend. Put your right hand on your block. Keep turning your trunk to the left. And then reach that left arm straight up out of your shoulder. Take your head back in line with the rest of your spine. And you can decide what level you want your block. You may not need it all the way up on its tallest side. And then bring that arm all the way over the ear. Try not to roll your rib cage towards the floor. Keep the chest up. Use your breath. And then inhale, come up and bring your block with you. So you can just transfer it to the other side. Going over to the other side, stretch your left leg out, put your block there, open up your right leg. And then turn to the right. Turn the ribs. Not your low back. Ribs are turning to the right while your pelvis is orienting more to the left. And then we're just going to side bend, find your block with your left hand and reach the right arm to the right. And again, you can lower your block if that works for you. And then reach that right arm over your ear. Keep rotating your ribs up towards the ceiling. And inhale, come back. Bring your block with you. And just sitting in mountain pose for a moment. And then let's get our bolster. Take chair pose. So put your bolster in the seat of your chair. You don't, well, you're actually going to need 2 blocks. So put your bolster in your chair, put your blocks in front of your chair, sit on your bolster with your feet up on your blocks. And push your blocks back so that your knees are slightly forward of your ankles. And then make sure you're sitting up straight so that your shoulders are over your hips before you start to move into the pose. So you may want to move your hips back a little bit so you're really firmly on your bolster and you don't feel like you're just falling forward. And then just take your hands to your knees and start to lean forward, putting more weight into your feet. So really press the heels down and start to lift up from the front of your spine. Now pull the shin bones back toward your chair to get a lot more weight down into your feet. And then bring your arms right out of your shoulders. Pull your navel back. And then start to bring the arms by your ears. And looking, gazing out on the floor a little ways. So you're not dropping your head, but you're still kind of looking downwards. Again, pull the navel back, make the front ribs flush with the rest of the abdominal area. And your legs should be really working now. Mine are shaking. And then sit back and put your hands on your thighs and just take a break. And then we'll do that again. So leaning forward, pulling back on your shin bones, head of the shin bones, right underneath your knees, pull back. And then kind of lean into the weight of your heels and reach your arms forward, pull your navel back. Lift your chest up. And then bring your arms by your ears. Really reach, 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 reach from your side waist. Keep your ribs back, legs back, really pulling on those shin bones back. The legs should be working really, really hard right now. You're going to do this with support, then we have to go about getting some of the benefit of the pose through our concerted effort as opposed to just what the pose brings about when you do it unsupported. And then release your arms, sitting back again. And then carefully make sure your blocks are out of your way as you come up to standing. And just put them to the side for a minute. And we'll turn the chair so that we're facing our bolster. Okay, and then from here, spinning from the hip crease, take your fingertips onto your bolster. And press your thighs back as you lift your kneecaps up. And just open up, starting to open up the backs of the legs. But you're not just stretching, you're also lifting, activating those muscles as they stretch. So push your heels apart. Lift your kneecaps up and press the top of your thighs back. Now, if you want to go further over, and you can do that without rounding your back at all, you might just bend the elbows a little bit. And then just see, are you lifting both hamstrings evenly? Or is one hamstring kind of stretching more than the other? So from the back of your knees, lift up into your buttock. And then from the back of the knee, press down through your calf and your heel. Then try to do those things at the same time. Feel how active the leg becomes. Nice active feet. Stretching and opening through the toes, lifting through the arches. And then go ahead and stand up. So this next thing, kind of, if you use your bolster, it kind of depends on your proportions. So I'm just gonna take my knee up onto my bolster and my foot is behind me, okay? So it's kind of a modified tree. It gives you more stability. But if this is too tall for some reason, you could do it with your knee in the floor. You have to, on me, it kind of makes that hip drop down. Bolster is almost too tall for me, but I can make it work. So I want you to kind of try to find what you need. You might need just a blanket in the chair as opposed to the bolster. I also know these bolsters are all different sizes. But the main idea here is we want to see if we can stand on this one leg with no arm support. Okay, so if you can release the back of your chair and then just draw your left buttock down, lift your front belly up, and then take both arms up. Interlace your fingers, make a steeple with your first finger, and reach up through your index fingers. Now, with your right foot behind your left knee, push forward on that left knee and back with your left leg. So they're really connected to one another, which should kind of activate your buttocks. Just see if you can get a sense of standing without support on one leg. And clearly we do have support, but it's not the same kind of support as when we use our arms. We're building strength in our legs and our hips, learning how to lift the arms while standing on one leg. And then bring the hands down into prayer and all the way down. And then just come out, just turn your chair on the opposite side to do the other side. So stand pretty close to your bolster so that when you take your knee up, you're not too far away. And you want to make sure that this right hip, your standing hip, isn't pushing away from your chair. You push it in towards the chair and then take your arms up. Just let that knee that's on the bolster or whatever you're using for support, just let it drop down. Pull your buttocks flush down. Elongate through your side waist. Draw your navel back and up. And then bring your hands to your heart. And release your arms and come out. And then just turn towards your chair again. Take your legs wider than you had them the first time. And again, put your fingertips on your bolster. And then press to the outer feet. Don't roll on your feet, just push towards them and down on the outer feet. And then if you can come further over, you can put your forearms on your bolster, do that. So Rita, you may want to just keep your head up. Don't drop your head down. Focus more on relaxing your spine down, lifting your leg muscles up, pulling your shoulder blades away from your ears. And then for anybody that wants to, you can take your hands down to the front legs of the chair and put your hairline on your bolster. So not the whole forehead. You may have to walk back a little bit to get, so you're not like leaning your head or dropping your head down into the bolster, but rather just rest right on the front edge of the bolster so that you're feeling right at your hairline. And then draw the shoulder blades towards your hips. Keep your ribs flush with the front of your body. Lift your inner thighs up. Roll your inner thighs in and back. You can adjust your arms to any position that feels good. You could put them on the floor if you can reach the floor easily. But whatever arm position you take, just make sure it doesn't cause you to weight your forehead. Just rest your hairline. And then hands to the bolster. Go ahead and come up and walk in and stand up. Okay, so let's go ahead and come back to seated. You can get your second chair. Just put your second chair over on your right. And put your bolster in front of your chair that you're sitting in, and you can either have it on the ground, or if you want it elevated a little bit, you could put your blocks under it. When it's elevated, this is a little more challenging than when it's on the floor. So you figure that one out, which one works. And then just cross at your shins. And sit up tall, let your weight come into your sit bones. And then I said, take your chair to the right, but let's start in the middle. And you could have the back of your chair to you or the front seat of the chair towards you. Just kind of depends on how much flexibility you have in your hips and your back. Again, you don't want to be rounding your back. You want to keep the back straight. So pull from your outer knees back to your outer hips, like you're going to push your hips back through the back of your chair, between the back of the chair and the seat of the chair. And then start to push your chair forward. So you're kind of creating this counter effort of hips going in one direction and shoulder girdle going in the other direction. Don't go out too far. Don't lose your connection to your chair. And then come onto the outer edges of your hands. So the palms are open and facing one another. And I'm just going to suggest that you scoot back, if you haven't already done that, into your chair more. So just push your hips even further back, relax your shoulders, and then just push out as far as you're able to without grounding. And then let your head come down between your arms and lift the triceps up towards the ceiling. Just pull them up. Don't let your head hang. Rather keep it right in line with your arms. And then come all the way back up, and you may want to just leave your chair there and come up. And then pull your chair back. And this time we'll go to the right. So again, take the outer hands onto the back of the chair, palms facing one another. So kind of get that left hip to really anchor down into your chair seat, and begin to just reach out to the right, feeling that left side waist. Bringing again the head in the middle between your arms. Lift those triceps up. Don't let them hang down. It's really hard on the neck. And then come back, and just come back without your chair. And then get your chair and bring it over to the left side. And again, palms facing one another. And then just going out by anchoring that right buttock down and back. Feel the stretch on the right side. Lift the triceps up. Relax your spine. And then come back. Bring your chair back to the center. And now bring the soles of your feet together. Before you do that, notice which leg you have in front. Okay, so if it's your right leg or your left leg, because we're gonna switch here in a second, so then come into Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. And then if you can reach the front edge of your chair seat with your hands, pull up on your chair seat, draw the head of the arm bones back. And you'll feel your pelvis and your spine coming into a more neutral position instead of rounding back. And then we'll take the other leg in front in Sukhasana. And then hands on the back of the chair. Well, put your outer edges of your hands kind of widen them. Make sure you have enough room for your chest to come through your arms and just slide forward. Keep the thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Pushing the triceps up as you relax the spine down. And then come back. And bring your chair back. Put it over on the right. Anchor your left hip down as you push out to the right. Keep your elbows straight. And try to lift that bottom side of your elbow up. And then come back. Move your chair to the other side. And when you're ready, go to the left. Your neck starts to feel any discomfort, make sure that you're lengthening it and not over extending it, not lifting the head. And then coming back, come back to Baddha Konasana. And then let's bring the knees together, feet together if you can. If that's too much, take your feet a little wide and fold forward. And then come up. And then get a blanket. And you're gonna roll your blanket. You can just take it like so. And from the fringe end of it, just make a roll. So you have like this little mini bolster. And you're just gonna put the mini bolster down a little bit out from your big bolster. You can't see that. And you don't need your chairs. So you're gonna, you also want to make sure that your big bolster, you want it up close to your chair. So if you had it a little further away, you may need to move it in a little closer. And then you're going to kind of sit back. You want your ankles over the little mini bolster and your back of your knees, the back of your thighs, supported by the bigger bolster. Now, again, I've got my bolster up on blocks. So if you don't have yours up on blocks, it may be too low for you. And if that's the case, you may not want to use both bolsters. You could just push the big bolster out to take the place of the little bolster and do away with the little bolster. So just kind of leaning back in this kind of Shavasana variation and relaxing, just feeling the support of the bolster underneath your legs. Feeling the blanket behind your ankles. Just closing the eyes. Dropping down inside. Finding some space inside yourself that feels really nice. That's a positive sensation to it. Maybe there's more openness in the backs of your legs or through your ribs. Just any place that feels good. Just kind of rest your awareness there. And just feel the connection of whatever's underneath you on the spots where there is actually a physical connection. Just notice the sensation of connection. Let yourself relax into those places of connection. Include the back resting up against the chair, bottom resting on the chair seat. And then tune into your breath. Notice the expansion of the breath inside the body. And then how it's followed by this kind of sense of deflation, of sinking back. And those feelings of inflation and deflation may feel subtle or they may feel strong. Just notice what it is for you. Just allow yourself to fall into those sensations as fully as you can. And then slowly, just using your arms or whatever you need to push yourself back up to a more supported pose and bring your legs back up onto your bolster. Just keeping the eyes closed, feeling more of the upright position. And then bringing the hands together at the heart. Bowing the head. Just thank yourself for taking this time. And may we have faith to know the divine enriches us, invigorates us, and is present with us throughout our day. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you. Namaste. Okay. Hope you feel better. I do. I don't even want to move. I just want to sit here for a while. So I look forward to seeing you on Saturday and hope you have a good Friday. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.